G'day guys, welcome back to another Wednesday night live stream. So this could be the last live stream for the year. Just not too sure yet because I may be going away next week. So hope everyone's had a good week and to the lead up to Christmas on Saturday or Saturday here in Australia. So it's a day behind for all our American viewers. So, excuse me. So it's been a very interesting week. We've got an interesting article we'll talk about. Last week had a lot of positive comments about cutting down the show to 1 hour. You guys seem to like it because, well, it's not so long and it gives you time to get home from work. So I'll bring Jason to the show. But before we start, please, once again, to subscribe to the channel, hit the like button and share this video once it's finished and get it out to everyone. So it'd be fantastic if you could do that. We'll bring young Jason in. G'day, Jason.
What's going on? Getting close to Christmas now. Not far away.
We are. A few more days. And I've got to say, I'm in the middle of a Christmas party right now, Jason. So I've just nipped home. One of my mates is having a big Christmas party, who's a builder that I do a lot of work for. They're just a few houses down from me. So I came home quickly to have to do this live stream. And I'm back to the Christmas party straight afterwards.
What is it? One of those weird street Christmas parties that, you know, you have every year where you get your neighbours that you don't really like and you sort of head over there and, you know, everyone gets pretty pretentious and that sort of thing. Is that what it is? Or
totally the opposite. He's a mad keen smoker. So all afternoon we've had different meats and chickens and different flavored stuff coming out and sausages, and he's a big deer hunter, so he makes all his own deer sausages, and we've been taste testing all that. Been fantastic.
sounds all right. I don't mind smoking the meats and all that, chicken, especially when we make deer sausages, or not so much jerky, but deer sausages. You can put them on a smoker as well. They come out really good, man. Really, really good. In fact,
he's made an unbelievable smoking barbecue area on his property. It's like will rival any restaurant. The thing is just a work of art. It's amazing.
Yeah, sounds good. Tasty. Yeah. Right in time for Christmas.
So I've taken a break for an hour or so, come back, missed out on the next load of meat to come and talk to you guys. Like, that doesn't sound very good, does it?
No, never ever say that again. Ever. Ever.
So you're off next week to see your lovely parents, and I could be on a hunting trip, so we're not too sure. We'll play it by ear what's going to happen next week, whether we do a show or not. But we'll keep you guys informed.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting at Christmas time. Everyone's getting busy. Everyone's going away. I mean, people can let us know in the comments, what are you guys up to? Hunting, fishing, shooting, just relaxing? This time of the year, it does get pretty hot, so I normally not bother for the next couple of months just because it gets way too hot, you know? Just not good. Get into the fishing, you know, stuff like that. Maybe do some reloading, get all your stuff ready for, you know, when it starts to cool down a bit.
Well, we're very lucky because my friend Nick, the property we're going on, his good friend of his, they have big sharing accommodation, and it is like the mining dongers, all separate units, fully air conditioned and showers. So, which is good. So I don't care about the heat during the day when I'm hunting. I just want a good night's sleep. I think if you have a decent place to have a shower and you can have a good night's sleep, you can extend your hunting trip basically indefinitely. So it's going to be all air conditioned.
Listen, if it's in summer's good if you've got somewhere to stay. You got somewhere to stay at night. That's either minimum got some fans, or you can take some more electricity. Or, man, if you're doing it hard under a tree in a swag, fuck, it's tough, man. It's real tough. Let us know in the comments. Do you guys like to, you know, do that sort of thing? Get out in summertime and swag it? Yeah, I mean, I guess you can. You can. You know, at least if you've got somewhere, even if it's just like a sharing shed or something, and you relax during the day and then go spotlighting and do all that at night. Yeah, absolutely. But, you know, the idea of lying on a swag at stinking 40-something degree heat, just horrible.
Yeah, it's averaging 45 out on this property right now.
Oh, good luck.
Thousands of acres we're going to cover. So it's pretty hot. I used to swag it, guys. I used to rough it. I've never been into comfort creatures, or whatever it is. When I go out, I always just dumped the swag on the ground and just sucked it up like a man. But yep, about to turn 50, so it's time for me to sit in the air conditioning on a hunting trip.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
First time ever, to be honest. First time ever.
Oh, we've got our buddies back again. Old MB with his new account when we banned him. Old MB.
Yeah, so as you know, I built a band hammer on my second channel. Go and check it. Links in the description. Are we going to use this again on MB the Troll?
What does he say? Hope they have been more accepting of free speech, unlike last time. Well, we never. Look, he was having a go saying we were shutting people down, and I'm like, listen, we haven't. Again, I've said this before. I'll say it again. You know, at the end of the day, you can say whatever you want on your own platform. You're not going to use our platform. That's got nothing to do with free speech. Again, start up a Facebook, start up a YouTube, start a live stream, do whatever you want to do. Slag us out on that, but you know, if people think they're going to come on someone's platform and try and slag them out to their audience and then claim free speech, I mean, that's just not how it works, MB. Unfortunately. We're not stopping you from doing your own platform, Twitter, Facebook, whatever it may be, to slag us out. You can do that if you so choose to. I don't know why you would, but if you wanted to, you could. But, you're just not going to do it on someone else's platform. I mean, makes basic sense. Nothing to do with free speech, man.
Yeah, no, nothing at all. I've got no problem. I got people slagging me out and other 2-bit YouTube channels slagging me out on a weekly basis and trying to get my channel banned. Got no problem with that. It's on their own platform. They can do that as much as they want, but don't come onto my channel that I've been building up for years and try and slag me out and think, oh, well, you're banned. I don't believe in free speech. I believe in free speech, but I ain't going to put up with being bagged on my own platform, my own channel that I've made and spent.
Get that super chat before it disappears too.
Yep, I got a couple here. So we've got the first one. Want to thank you, Bush Ranger Brotherhood. Sorry to be such a burden to you, good sir. I hope this can make up for all the sacrifice, and early Christmas to all. Thank you very much for the Christmas present, Bush Ranger Brotherhood of Australia. Very nice guy. Of course, none of you guys are a burden to us ever. So thank you very much. And our friend JR, Aaron and Jace, you have a very merry and safe Christmas and a happy new year. And same to you, JR. Hope you do too. And hope all you guys have a safe Christmas. And when you come back, we can share some good stories of you guys, because we'll have you back on the show after Christmas and get everyone talking live on air about what you've done and where you've been hunting.
Yeah, I was just reading some comments here. Adam Basham said, I hate to imagine what would happen if a Cat H license misplaced their handguns. Yeah, absolutely, man. It definitely would not be the same. Wouldn't be the same at all.
Yeah.
Definitely not at all.
No, exactly. We'll get into that very soon. And we have this, what a weak hammer. I'm still here. Oh, are you? Okay.
No argument, just likes to be silly. Why not give a realistic argument? At least we can work with something. At least we can put you up on the screen. Again, he gets more like smoking dope. Another comment. I mean, dude, we don't do that sort of thing, man. We're just regular dudes. So, I mean, hey, at least if you've got a decent argument, we're happy to put it up. Just at least be coherent and make a decent argument. That's the bare minimum we ask for. I mean, I think that's a reasonable request.
Yeah, so what do you guys think? We're happy to get rid of him for a second time because he's been a bit of a douchebag over the last year and a half of running this live stream. I will open it up to you guys. Public opinion. What do you guys think?
Trevor Collins, in regards to hunting, spotlighting at night, sleep during the day. Yeah, that's it. Dry heat is okay. Humidity is horrid. Acme Firearms. Yeah, I agree with that, man. I'm not a humidity guy at all, even remotely. Ugh, horrible stuff.
Yeah. The humidity is definitely a bit of a killer, that's for sure.
Hank Meister said, get rid of him. Neil said, smash the hammer. Get rid of him.
There we go, guys. Banhammer, gone. MB,
You're going to smash your bloody
gone.
screen and all that sort of thing if you keep that up and smash your...
Yeah, everyone says bye-bye. MB smokes himself. Bye-bye. He's gone. He's gone. Thank you very much to Robert Beatson. Merry Christmas and safe Happy New Year to you guys. Enjoy the holidays. And same to you, Robert. Thank you very much for the donation. You have a great holiday as well. Thank you very much. We've been doing this for a year and a half, haven't we, Jason? Every single night is every Wednesday, or it used to be Tuesday or Thursday. We've been bringing you a live stream every week for a year and a half, and we may miss one or two, but it's time for a bit of a break after the Wu flu, and we can actually get away. So, yeah, but we'll be coming back bigger and better next year, that's for sure. And our friend Stan Long Range Pensioner, best Merry Christmas, guys. Stay safe and smash him. Well, he's been smashed. MB is gone. You guys have spoken. He is gone.
I don't know why you just create another profile just to get on here. It's like, you must have some time up your sleeve. That's for sure. Anyway,
yes, exactly,
we'll read out some of our, where is it? It's gone. I've just dropped it. All right, our listeners, participants, we're going to do the roll call. Adzy's always number one because his name starts with AD. Adzy, the PWC bloke in Australia. Adzy, what does PWC stand for in Australia? Does anyone have a guess? Let us know in the comments. Before he tells me, what does PWC stand for, you reckon? Bagel Operator, Big Toe TV, CG, Chris Legend, Legendary, Cliff Lee. Who else? Shit, you guys keep posting while I'm trying to do it. It keeps disappearing. Cliff Lee, Colin Pedfold, Dank Bloke, Aesthetic Pessimist. I like that name, Aesthetic Pessimist. Good. Fox 860, Joe Morgan, LA, Lead Pilled, Liam Cumbo, Lone Wolf, I should say, Looking Over Hell, another good one. MB, but he's gone now. M. Trundle, Matt Outdoors Adventures, Matt Rumsey, Mika Steve, Mitchie116, Mr. Wonderful, Mr. Griffo, Neil, Constantine out, one of our regulars, Nick Blackwell, Nova Logic, sorry if I've got that right. Peter from the NSC, Rob's Aquaconics and Backyard Farm. He's got some good stuff over there. Robert Beatson, Ropes by Psycho. That's a good one. Salty Skippy, Sean White, Squiz, 59 ANK Racing. Sorry if I got that wrong, man. Stan, Long Range Pensioner, Mans, Tankmeister, Bush Ranger, Brother to Victoria, The Watcher. That's a good one. The Watcher, Tracer, 1, 2, 3. So sorry, guys, if you haven't been commenting. Harps 666, just a Bush Ranger, Brother to Victoria, The Watcher. That's a good one. The Watcher. What are you doing? Tracer. You turn something on? 2,
3. Yeah. There we go. Sorry, I'm just
playing in my ear.
Yeah, just getting things ready.
Yep. Sorry, guys. So if you think, there you go. Thank you for tuning into the live stream.
Yes, so we've got a couple of stories tonight. Now, here's one. Okay, we're not going to say what place it was done in, but this here, there was a shooting this week at a week or so at a gun range here in Australia. Now, I'll read out what I read in the comments. This is a news report, so we'll just play this.
I'll say JR said missed him again. Sorry, JR, if you haven't, remember participants. And you're playing it again. You got JR. Sorry, man. If you haven't commented, I'm not sure if you did. I just didn't see it. But yeah, don't forget, guys, you got to comment in the stream so you come up as a participant in the stream, not just on there. So sorry, guys, if you're not commenting, you're not in the participants list, unfortunately.
Yes. But we all know, you're all worthy of a comment and a mention. So here we go. So there was a shooting in a gun range in Australia. So we'll play. It's only a minute 40. So we'll play this little. Hang on, I'll try and bring this up. Where is it here?
Rifle practice at a shooting.
Here we go. So we'll bring this news article up, and then we'll talk about it afterwards.
Range on the Central Coast ended very badly this morning. 2 men accidentally shot. Witnesses say one of the victims tripped, firing a bullet into his own leg and sending shrapnel flying into another man.
One misstep and a day at the range misfires. A 52-year-old man tripping and shooting himself above the knee, a victim of his own unfortunate mishap.
It was an accidental shooting where the gun's gone off.
It was just after 10 this morning when rifle practice for the Central Coast muzzle loaders took a serious turn. A gunshot, a scream. Many feared the worst.
At this point, we're doing the investigation to determine the cause of the shot.
The club member was airlifted to Royal North Shore Hospital in a serious but stable condition. A bystander also injured, suspected fragments lodged in his leg.
It's obviously the rifle range, the safety procedures will be reviewed and monitored by the detectives to ensure compliance with those safety regulations.
Members of the club have told 7 News that their colleagues stood up and slipped whilst holding the loaded rifle, accidentally discharging it into his leg. An accident that hasn't been seen here at the club in its 52-year history.
The gun holders, we encourage you to promote safety as #1 priority.
A club where many members are former servicemen, tonight relieved it didn't end in tragedy.
When you're at the rifle range, take care at all times. I know accidents happen, but please just take care at all times.
Bill Hogan, 7 News.
So that's what happened. A muzzle loader. Now, when I read a lot of comments, a certain bunch of fuds, we all know where they come from.
Anyway, how was your makeup party?
Sorry.
Playing it again.
Yeah. A certain amount of fuds from a certain a group were screaming and yelling about, this is why we only need single load only. Single load only on all ranges. Never load your magazine up. Could have been a much worse. He could have died if we didn't have these single load rules in. Well, for starters, it's a muzzle loader. I don't think there's any sort of magazine with a muzzle loader, so you can't actually pull a stunt where you actually shoot yourself multiple times with a muzzle loader. So obviously they didn't read the article or watch the article too well, because what restrictions they're going to bring out on now on muzzle loaders, Jason? The weakest form of firearms there is. Not weakest of fun. A lot of fun they are.
At the end of the day, I mean, if it's as they say it was a slip, I mean, innocent things can happen. I mean, they're right to take care, but I mean, it seems, from what they're saying, that from the witness statements that, they were taking care, and, just an axe slipped. What can you do? Just sometimes crazy things will happen, and, luckily he wasn't injured or he wasn't hurt. So that's just part of it. It's part of the deal. When you're shooting firearms, make sure if you're not shooting, you're unloaded whilst you're standing there. But he probably was in the process of firing and slipped. And naturally your body tenses up. Could have just grabbed the gun or grabbed the trigger. I mean, it's happened to the best of people. So, and it's gone off. So, and obviously, unluckily, I should say, shot him in the leg. And luckily, he's still alive. So good on him. And hopefully there's no issues with that. Just accidents. Accidents do happen.
Yeah, and you've got to wonder, are the police going to go after him and to try and take his license off him because of a simple accident, or try and charge him, or because as I said, they're under investigation. Sounds pretty open and closed to me. The poor bugger just slipped over and the rifle went off. These things happen. No one was killed. But it's got to laugh. He was shot above the leg. And whenever you get shot above the leg, unless you hit the femoral artery, you're going to be pretty much fine. So they say he's in serious condition. You actually got the risk of, from my understanding, from talking to doctors I know, you got more of a chance of losing your leg if you get shot, and in more serious danger if you get shot below the kneecap.
And whereas the watcher says, poor bugger, bye-bye license. I don't know. I mean, hey, I knew a dude one time. He didn't probably live about 20 minutes from me. This was probably 7 years ago or something. He just originally got his Cat D and he bought an AR and he accidentally discharged it through the wall into the next door neighbor's property, into their bathroom. It was a 223. He dropped the bolt on it, and unfortunately a magazine still with one round still in it, and then pulled the trigger to obviously to dry fire it, and he basically went to a lawyer that I referred him to, and took a while, took about 15 grand, but he eventually got his gun license back because there was no malice in it, and he was helpful to the police and so forth. So I mean, I don't know. Can you really take someone's guns off them because of an accident? People say negligent discharge, redneck rumbler. I mean, you know,
Redneck is
my
very
man had
muzzle
negligent
loaders.
discharge, no doubt, because he was trying to do it. But what about this accident? I mean, is he referring to that? But he got his gun license back because there was no malice in it. So no one was injured, no malice. So, yeah, with a good lawyer, he got his gun license back. So what do you guys think? Do you think he'd get it back, or do you reckon they'll try and do something? What do you guys reckon?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me whether they try and pull that stunt, to be honest with you, as in try and try and do something to him. Because as we know, they go through bankruptcy. If the poor bugger doesn't have enough money to defend himself, go to spend 15 grand in court, then what was he going to do?
So there's a difference between, I reckon there's a difference between this and the guy that I knew. I mean, yeah, that was negligent just for, not taking care and not checking. But I mean, if someone slipped and they've grabbed the gun, is that, I mean, people say, well, that's still negligent, but how? I mean, if it's a reactionary discharge, it's very hard to say that that's negligent, especially if someone slipped over. I mean, accidents, that's purely an accident. I mean, I guess the other one is too, but more negligent for not checking. This guy just purely slipped over. So I don't think so. I mean, I think I think you'll be fine. Common sense has got to prevail in these situations, and it doesn't always, but sometimes it should. And like I said, the guy that I knew just didn't check. So, and he got it back too. So there you go, figure.
Yeah, we got salty skipper there, Skippy. He would get away with it if he was Alec Baldwin. Exactly. And he didn't even pull Baldwin. He didn't point the gun at someone and gun them down like Baldwin did. It was a pure accident. And we got JR. Cops will try and close the range, I bet. Wouldn't surprise me if they try and bring some sort of sanction in or anything. You just don't know these days, do you? It's getting so out of hand. You just wouldn't know.
Yeah, I mean, Uranus says not enough detail. Nobody knows what he did. True. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm sure it'll come out. But if the witness statements are correct, well, then very hard for him to prosecute otherwise. So, interesting.
Exactly. And thank you to IA for the super chat and the Christmas donation. Really do appreciate it. Merry Christmas, gents. Thanks for the entertaining year. Thank you very much. And it's going to be a great year next year as well. We do enjoy doing this. Thank you very much. Thank
Sean
you to
Watts, I
everyone.
think they'll do drug and alcohol check, and witnesses, if you didn't do anything wrong, should be fine. Yeah. Hopefully common sense prevails. I mean, accidents do happen. Accidents happen. Everything to say accidents don't happen, whether negligent or not, people do negligent things in vehicles. They don't always lose their car license, depending on how bad it is. But, even if they do something really bad, they inevitably get it back anyway. So people go, there's a difference between cars and firearms. Well, yes and no. Yes and no. If you look at pure numbers, I mean, more people die on Australian roads than die with firearms each year. So, if they want to get rid of gun crime, just get rid of cars as well. People go, but we use them. We use them every day. Well, okay. Doesn't matter. The net result is still the same, isn't it? 15 to 1,800 dead per year. What is it nationally to around, less than, I think it wasn't last year. I can't remember exactly the figures, but, under 50 or 50 to 60. So if you're looking at pure numbers, regardless of what the still result is dead. And regardless, the results are still the same. So.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, and Colin Penfold brought up the tragic accident that happened here in Queensland. In Australia. I think it was WA, where all these kids died from a jumping castle. It blew away. About 5 young children were killed. What are they going to do? Ban jumping castles now?
No, yeah, well, that's right. Yeah, it wasn't pinned down, or they want to poor bloody kids, man, right before Christmas. Horrible. The watcher said those muzzle letters are pretty long, but you just to find out how it went off. That's what I reckon. So sometimes you naturally go to fall over. You just grab, your fingers tense up and you just grab, like you do when you see a kangaroo and it's right in front of you running across the road. You just sort of, it's very, especially if you can see them up front and you've got time to react, it's no problem. It's when you sort of don't have time to react and they just pop out in front of you. That's when you naturally just go to pull the wheel, or you shouldn't do that, obviously, because you can end up dead. But, a lot of people know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, bushfriend says this happened in his hometown.
Exactly.
Interesting.
Before we get on to the topic too, did anyone see in the comments? Let us know in the comments. We did the Kyle Sandilands one last week about the gun ban. And apparently he had a pistol. So what I've read in further articles, he in fact does have a pistol license, and from what I understand, he potentially may even own pistols. So he was actually going for his rifle license, but they've denied him for his rifle license based on apparently people that he hangs out with, as we discussed last week. And apparently his on-air antics as being a reason for a fit and proper person. Now, the most interesting part is I did see an article yesterday, but I only saw it once and it's gone into the paywall. The police want to suppress all the information surrounding the case. So is this anyone in this sort of arena? Is this sort of normal? Why would you want to suppress a case regarding a radio announcer? If again, it doesn't have a right to talk about it either on his show or even after the case based on that information. Why would you want to suppress the information? Is it the information that they're using might get out and embarrass him, might use it on radio against them? I mean, I don't know. I just don't know why you want to suppress information. If you're not going to give him his license, what have you got to hide? You need to be free, open, and transparent when you're making these decisions. So I don't know why the police, unless there's something going on behind the scenes that they're not confident about, that they don't want to get out. It just doesn't make any sense to me at all. I mean, again, anyone looking to suppress information generally doesn't, I'm not saying is doing the wrong thing. It's just a little bit sketchy, if you ask me, when you're trying to suppress information. So, especially coming from authorities, and and then we're taxpayers. We pay for that information. That's our information, not theirs. It's ours because we pay the taxes. So it's interesting.
Well, I dare say what they're worried about is he is one of the largest radio shows here in Australia, is just exposing the whole lot out to millions and millions of listeners. And that's not what they want what sort of publicity they want. Because, as you said, you don't try and suppress or hide information if you're not going to be embarrassed by it.
Yeah, so Peter said New South Wales, they have claim they have protected information, i.e. a snitch. Well, but then again, that was the case. I mean, then how does he get a pistol license? Someone else just said that as well. I'm just trying to, how did he get a lead-pilled? How did he get a pistol license and not a rifle? Well, exactly. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense, does it? Like, I mean, they've given him one. See, but this is the issue. Once they've given him one, it's I would assume if he hasn't committed any crime, it's very hard to reject the other one.
Well, not just giving it to him. He's kept it. So he holds the pistol license and has not been taken off him for any reason whatsoever, because he hasn't done any wrongdoing. So, he hasn't just got a pistol license, he's kept it. So if there's something that bad and there's some sort of snitch, and we all know snitches are only after to save their own asses because they've done something, he obviously hasn't done anything wrong. Obviously, if he had, he would lose his pistol license.
Exactly. I don't know how they're going to win this one, to be brutally honest, because if there is some other issue going, some other sort of investigation or whatever, well, at the end of the day, I mean, this is our information. They need to be transparent. But, I really don't see that happening at all. But any sort of transparency with New South Wales Police, they're normally the opposite, think they can do as they please. But I hope that he wins. Like I said, regardless if it's irrelevant whether you like the guy or not, you like his politics or you like his humor or not, at the end of the day, the same would go for me and you. If you haven't committed offense, you're entitled to have a firearms license. So no ifs or buts. And he's got a pistol license. So then, you'd think that the threshold for pistol licenses was a little bit higher, you generally say, in regards to probation and so forth. So it doesn't make any sense that he can't get a rifle license. But I think you'll win. And hey, you should try and get him on the show one day. You never know, he might agree.
Yeah, we'll definitely try that. Don't know if we want to talk to some small fries like us. We can only try. When it's all over, he may want to tell his story on a different platform. I'll be interesting to see when it's all over and dusted, that he does tell the story on his radio show. Which would be very interesting if he does.
So Ram 2 says, in regards to that guy, no one fell over at the range. The rifle was knocked from the table, probably as the guy stood up. Yeah, it could have happened. I'm not sure how, if you'd be facing it forward, how if you knocked it, it would turn back on your leg. I don't know how that would have happened. So anyway, we'll just wait for the proper information to come out.
Exactly. And before we get into tonight's subject, I would like to thank the NSC for sponsoring the show tonight. They are a big supporter, been a big supporter for over a year now, which we do really appreciate. And guys, if you're looking for a new organisation, an organisation that are a bunch of FUDs and they actually do something to help shooters, i.e., you can go and have a look at their past track record, getting gun bans overturned, helping shooters out legally, their members out legally when they have a few problems, and generally just standing up, balls in the wind to take on any gun bans or injustice to the shooting community. So definitely go over and have a look at them if you want a good organisation. One of my eyes, that is the only organisation worth joining, because they are not FUDs, and they just don't roll over on the government's demands. Go ahead and join the NSC. The links are in the description. Great bunch of guys, and they do have a range of merchandise that you can buy from them. And we are doing a bit of a contest. We actually haven't come up with prizes yet, but it is going to go for a little bit longer. If you wear their merch, take a photo in front of your club or whatever, or at home, and send them to my Instagram messenger. The link is in the description. The email is, I'm going to get rid of the email, actually, delete it, because it's just filled with spam and it's just overrun now. So send your messages to the Instagram, and pictures of you wearing the merch, and you're going for a draw to win. To win some prizes.
Hunters and Shooters Society said, I'm glad that Kyle has the money to fight it so he can get a win. Yeah, I mean, exactly. Hey, anyone know if suppression orders covers him talking about it as well? Let us know in the comments. That's even worse if it covers him too, which I'm probably sure that it does, no doubt, in Australia. Of course it would. Heaven forbid he can't, they're saying you can't have the gun, but you also can't talk about it. I mean, it's absolutely astronomical, isn't it? Let us know in the comments, does the suppression order cover the information they have, or both parties that he's unable to talk about it? Let us know in the comments if you know or are up to date on this sort of thing.
Yeah. I think afterwards, after it's all done and dusted, you can't ban someone from talking about it once it's all finished. You can't ban someone for saying anything for the rest of their life, can you?
Well, no. I mean, again, people. I never like this. This whole who you hang out with has some sort of, bearing on whether you have if you're not a criminal and you're not doing anything wrong, then again, it's irrelevant who you hang out with. I mean, if he's obviously conducting illegal activities, I'm sure they'd be, being investigated, fined, or put in prison. But it's clear that he's not. And if they thought so, he wouldn't have the pistol license.
Yeah, exactly. I just don't think that is grasping at straws, and that's about it. And they're actually fighting someone that does have the money to fight back and stand up for himself. Yeah, and it's not like people who don't have any money and can't afford a lawyer. This guy does have the money, and he probably has the money, as we said in the news article last week. It said that he's worth $100 million. So I'm pretty sure he's got a little bit of spare change to throw at this. He could probably defend it just in the coins he's got in his Rolls Royce's cup holder.
Yeah, aesthetic pessimist. This is a big call. Shooting Stuff Australia is like the real Rookshan of shooting news. You don't hear this news and info anywhere else. Geez, man, you're comparing Aaron to Rookshan, who's actually doing good work.
Exactly. Hey, you're lumped in with that as well.
No, it's all right.
Yeah.
Just having a look.
We just try and bring you articles we find on the internet and talk about them. So we always bring the articles up to show you, so we know we got a bit of so they're not fake or anything. We find the articles, and no one else all the other people are just gutless and don't want to talk about it for various reasons that we all know why. And we just no one else is talking about it, and the amount of emails and messages and I get from people saying we'd never know about these topics if it wasn't for you guys. We'd never know about these bans or what's been happening or what's about to happen if it wasn't for you guys. It would just be swept underneath the rug and just pass us by. So that's why I'm doing the live streams. And because everyone needs to know what's happening with their sport, because it could be over just like that. So I want to
Peter said, "G'day, Peter. Hope you're well, mate." He's thanking Peter from the NSC. Big thank you. He said the help that he got, or his mate got, I should say, getting his license and guns back after a bogus AVO. Thumbs up. Well, that's good news. Yeah, this sort of things happen with bogus AVOs and so forth. So, yep, another good win for that shooter with the help of the NSC. Good stuff.
Exactly. And thank you to M. Trundle for the Christmas donation. We really do appreciate it. Thank you very much. And our friend Brandon. G'day, guys. I wanted to say that I am finally a member of a gun club. Good stuff. Now I just got to do the safety course, and I'll be able to send through all my paperwork online. Wish you Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Same to you, Brandon. Have a very safe and new year. Unfortunately, there's a little bit of wait for gun licenses, but always remember, you're going to get it in the end, and the day it comes in the mail is always a good day. It doesn't stop you going window shopping right now, because I remember when all those years ago I was waiting for my license. Every day you're on the websites looking at guns that you want to buy.
Yeah. Ned Kelly said, like that name, he said this could be a good thing for the shooting community if we can make a good case against the government. Maybe with any luck, we might get a few freedoms bestowed upon us. I mean, it's a tough gig, man. I've been doing this for 10 years and, yeah, not many wins to speak of, unfortunately. But I guess we just got to keep trudging forward. That's the goal.
Yeah, and even if there's no chance of winning anything back, at least we can bring you the information about what's happening, and you're aware of what's happening to your sport, which is also very important. Like a lot of people I've met out there at gun ranges, especially an old range I used to belong to, they just bury their head in the sand. They believe everything they're told by their club, and they bury their head in the sand, and which is not a good thing to do, because you'll wake up one day and wonder where your guns are gone.
Yeah, while you're reading, you bring up the article because we're getting out of time.
Yes.
Someone asked here what happened with Sterren. We haven't found out yet. If anyone knows, Sterren was in the chat. I'm not sure if he is now, but he was helped out by the NSC for helping a lady. I think it was his neighbour.
Stabbed.
What's that?
So she was stabbed and dying.
Yeah. And then he went to help her with a firearm, and then the not surprising happened. The police arrested him and trying to take him to court to string him up by the kahunas when he actually helped someone who just got stabbed. It's beggars belief in this country, guys, isn't it? That someone helps out thy neighbour, and then now he's in court defending himself, had his firearms taken off him when he's actually out there helping someone. I mean, absolutely grotesque and reprehensible that you'd be actually trying to prosecute. Instead of giving the guy a medal, which is what he deserves, he's now, spending some of his own money with the help of the NSC to try and not overturn the conviction, to not be convicted. I mean, it's just reprehensible, man. Absolutely reprehensible. But Peter just said, hopefully there'll be an update on Sterren soon. Yeah, well, let's hope. Let's hope common sense prevails. But even if it's a win, it's still a loss of money. It's a loss of, firearms and shooting sports however long. It's just, we hope he wins, obviously, but, unbelievable.
I think he had a trial by jury, which is, in this case, is pretty good, because jury do like a good guy's story compared to just the judge who gets paid by the government. So I think that was a wise move to do. Apparently, I heard they flew police prosecutors to try and nail him as good as they could from Victoria. And they brought them in from everywhere to try and nail him. So let's hope like hell it all goes good for him. And I've already talked to him, and I think he's happy to come on the show when it's all done and dusted and talk about the absolute ridiculous case that happened, which will be very interesting. Want to thank Lockie for the $30 donation. Really do appreciate it. That is awesome. So tonight's topic, this is from the NSC again. Once again, they bring up articles that a lot of people will know about. And you'd probably never hear about this one, would you, in the mainstream media? So it is the NT cops lose several guns. So it goes on to a list of other things where other police forces have lost guns and whatever, but we're only going to concentrate on this tonight. The NT story the NT News revealed two Glocks were missing, possibly stolen, and a further 8 are accounted for. It says that 5 police members undertook a full search of the Armoury building, including a roof space, and failed to locate the firearms. The NT Police Deputy Commissioner Murray Smallpage told the NT News that 2 of the missing Glocks were the subject of an ongoing and criminal investigation. They could not be ruled out that they may end up in criminal hands. Well, no shit, they're going to end up in criminal hands. You don't lose 10 fucking guns and they end up in a vending machine for the kids to get on a arcade game, do you? They end up in the wrong hands. So unaccounted for, to me, that sounds like they gone. Not
You know, if unaccounted for
Yeah.
doesn't just mean it's either lost, stolen. Either way, they can't find them. So, I mean, can you imagine if we had 10 pistols or even just one, and then we said, "Oh, well, you know, we just lost it, man." We rang up and said, "Oh, mate, I don't know. I put it on the back of the car. I thought I put it in my car. You know, went home and it wasn't there." I don't think that's going to wash. I don't think that's going to wash with them, you know, but they can lose
No.
10 and there's no accountability. But, you know, is anyone really surprised again with zero accountability?
exactly. Well, they say here, full search of the Armoury building. Well, here's something, Jason. I never told you the story. Well, I actually worked overseas in an armory. I renovated a major police headquarters, and I was privy to go into the armory and renovate it. Only a couple of us were allowed in there, and we were all security checked, and only a few of us were allowed to actually do the renovations inside the armory. I can tell you now, if you're a civilian, you ain't getting into the armory. So it doesn't take a brain surgeon to figure out who took these guns if they were taken and who actually had a hand in this. It's not some average Joe walking off the street, is it?
Yeah, well, they wouldn't have access to those type of areas. I
Yeah.
mean, if they did, how'd they get in and out with these guns if that was the case? I mean, it's just not likely. So the guns have either gone missing, well, someone's taken them, or you know, or they're hidden on site to potentially take them at a later date. But I'd say if they've been gone for a while, they're already gone. So, you know, where did they go? You know, they don't just disappear. Who's being held accountable for lost guns? I mean, again, should you know, the fish rots from the head, as they say. It should be the, you know, station commander that's responsible, and you know, it should be asked to explain where they are. And you know, but again, you know, they're police, so it's okay for them to lose them. Remember that it was one in Queensland, wasn't it? Didn't he have one in like the McDonald's or something? It was in his bag, and someone ended up taking the bag. And then they punished the guy because the guy took it, probably stole the bag, not realizing maybe the gun was in it. I can't remember the story entirely, but you know, and then all of a sudden, you know, he gets busted for you know, for taking the bag, and then but the guy left it there. Like, you know what I mean? It's ridiculous.
Yep, exactly. And here's a funny story I'll tell you guys. Dank bloke, how much are 2 Glocks? Well, I can tell you 2 Glocks stolen from the police, if you're on the Gold Coast, is worth 2 surfboards. I remember years ago, a copper swapped his, said his gun was lost, and it found in the hands of some guy, and he said he swapped it for a surfboard. So 2
Yeah,
Glocks,
no, it's
2
not really
surfboards. That's
not
probably
really
the
a good
price.
trade.
Yeah, exactly. So that's pretty much how much they're worth. A surfboard per Glock, apparently.
Yeah, well, you know, but who's going to be held accountable? You know, again, one is bad enough, let alone, you know, any more than that. I mean, but you got basically 11 unaccounted for. Then just say they've been lost, stolen, you know, unaccounted for is again to soften the blow. But again, we don't want to, you know, make these people accountable because, oh, heaven bits the police can't make anyone accountable because no one knows where they are. So technically, no one's taken them. So who do you make accountable if you don't have a crime?
Yeah, and here's Ben. This is interesting. When I helped the AHP, Australian Federal Police, years ago to move years ago, we would constantly find guns left in filing cabinets and desks. Here you go. I can tell you now, when I renovated that place here, okay, I'll tell you a story. We've got time for this. So we were downstairs in the basement of this huge police headquarters overseas. And to go into the armory, there's one door in, one door out. So they knocked a hole in the wall to get some major equipment in, plywooded up. You had to walk around a big loop, and it was long. It was major. I mean, to work in the armory. So we just ripped we weren't told about it, but there's plywood against this wall. And it's before we actually started the armory work. We're just tarting up the hallway. We took the plywood off because we had to get from A to B. And instead of carrying all our equipment like half a K around underground, we could just nip right through. We read the plans. Okay, there's a room there. We could nip right through this wall, out the door, and where we need to be within 5 seconds. We pulled the bit of plywood up, and there was an armory. We walked in. We were around full auto machine guns, hand grenades, full on, end of the world stuff. And we could have just pocketed everything, but we didn't. We just walked right through, of course. And that's the sort of security they had back then.
Yeah, not even under, brick and mortar, just break through drywall.
No, it's a bit of plywood. They one of the guys nailed to the side of the wall.
Well,
And
just
we
as
didn't
might,
know
might,
that.
might as well be drywall, but it's pretty much the same thing.
Yeah,
Plywood
literally
might be a bit harder, obviously, but
like we had trolleys full of equipment, and we just read the plans. It didn't say what the plans were, and someone just had a bit of plywood nailed to the wall, so we just pulled that off, thinking it was like a locker or something. Walked in, and there was just tubs of hand grenades, tubs of magazines fully loaded, full autos hanging on the wall. We didn't touch anything. We did. Oh yeah, that's pretty interesting, and just just walked through the door, and that was it. No one questioned anything. And we said to the guy who ran it, said, "Oh yeah, maybe we should fix that plywood up and maybe put a proper wall in so this can't happen again." He said, "Yeah, you're probably right. It's been like that for years."
yeah, some people say, well, what's going to, happen in the Northern Territory? I mean, who's accountable? Well, that's a good question. I mean, you can't sack somebody if, there's no, well, apparently allegedly there's no crime or no one to blame for a theft. So I don't know what they do. Let us know. What do you guys think would happen? I mean, just sweep it under the carpet, nothing gets said again, just tick them off the list and put them in the, no longer here inventory. So I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Yeah. If it was any of us, we'd be nailed to the wall at the end of our shooting livelihood, our sport. Thank you to BD83, formerly TCE Fan 25. Glocks are worth a lot less over the years, and the bullshit prices we pay here in Australia would get several surfboards worth here. Exactly. The prices of guns here are just pathetic. I talked to Hootie Hoo and Fit and Fire. We talk about, and a few other YouTubers overseas about the price of guns, and they are staggered by how much we pay. Staggered. And, I talked to a few wholesalers, the good ones. There's some good ones, there's some bad ones. And there's a general consensus with a few of them that absolutely hike the prices.
Yeah, I know. I mean, hey, Glock reliability, that's their slogan. Redneck Rumbler said there'll be suppression. Just like with Kyle Sanderlands. Yeah, you're probably right, man. Suppress where they went. No, hear no evil, speak no evil sort of thing. A static pessimist sacked a lot. Surely they can't keep their jobs.
Tracer here. Just replace the Glock with a gel blaster. The police can't tell the difference. And it's classed as a firearm in most states in Queensland. So why wouldn't you want a gel blaster? If you shoot yourself in the leg at the range, you're not going to go to hospital and everyone's safe.
Yeah, as Hunters Shooters Society of Australia said, yeah, that's true. Whoever found the firearm will be whoever gets found with the firearm will be held accountable. But I mean, how did they get onto the street? That's the whole question. I mean, you might get into the hands of a criminal, but how did they get there? Obviously that would be an investigation, and hopefully they find out it's someone's dirty and gave them access and gave the firearms away to someone else and stole them out of the station.
Kevin Rudd the stud. Now, that's not Friendly Jordan, is it? Because he pushes a Kevin Rudd a lot. Is that him in disguise? I don't know. But any word on the talk that Naya is making a new firearm manufacturing plant? I got no idea. I'm still waiting for a phone call after 8 years. They're going to return my phone calls, 3 of them, and we're going to talk about some stuff. But so I wouldn't know because they just don't. Yeah, they don't return phone calls.
Just looking at
And thank you
Eagle
to Matt.
operator, Austrian Tupperware. In other words,
Pretty
Glocks. Hey, they
thanks,
serve a purpose. I mean, reliability serve a purpose.
thanks to Matt for the Christmas gift. Really do appreciate it. $4. Really do appreciate it. Thank you, Matt. Outdoor Adventures. You're a top bloke.
Static
And we've got
pessimist said the same cameras used in the Epstein prison. Or they happened to be off at the time, were they, or not pointing in the right direction?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens in the future with this. It really is going to be interesting.
Just having a look at some of the comments on there. Yeah, some fellows Lingo since reading some of the comments, guys. It's the Bagel says it's the territory. Those guns are long gone.
Well, this is not far from me, Adam Basham. When I was driving home one afternoon on the way to Canungra, which is not far from us, big army base out there as well, the guy in the car in front of me stopped in the middle of the road. I got out, and I got out as he did. 2 Steyr Augs were sitting there. That could have been the SAS or something, because I was driving through Canungra past there, a goddamn amazing shooting range in the hills. It looks absolutely fantastic. And on the side of the road was fully camoed special forces. I mean, a squad of them with their Steyrs and M4s out, fully like camoed to the max, face painted, just on the side of the road with their guns out, kneeling down real still. And that was a pretty amazing sight to see, but that's just what we see around here from time to time. So it wouldn't surprise me if he was a part of the training squad out there, because the average person doesn't have Augs over here unless you're a hardened criminal.
Jack Daniels said a Glock is reliable and easy to maintain. Scott Stiles says it's combat Tupperware. Uranus said bring back the humble semi-autos. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah,
the new gun that Iowa plug got taken off the market straight away. Then what are we getting excited to? I think it was like a thumb one. Is it similar? I think from what I understood, it was a straight pull, possibly with the same thumb release. That's the photo that I saw. If I'm correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, guys. It was very similar to that style, Vernie Caron style.
Was that a shotgun?
Yeah, shotgun. Rifle? Yeah, shotgun.
Yeah, hopefully it's more than 3 rounds. Yeah. There we go, Neil H. Yeah, that'll be interesting to see. We haven't had many new sorts of guns come out in Australia at all lately, haven't we? Well, basically in the past year, 6 months, I'd say. Nothing new. Everything seems to be knocked back. I don't know what happening behind the scenes, or nothing really innovative. As Jason and me have talked about quite often, like with gun reviews and all that, there's only so much you can do with a bolt action. You can review only so many bolt actions, and they start to all be the same, and the reviews are the same. And that's why I started getting away from it a bit, because all the comments I've been seeing on other people's channels is that they're all boring. Boring reviews. Just bolt action after bolt action. Unfortunately, it's all we can pretty much have over here. And when you make handgun reviews, no one watches them, because handguns are an extra level to get, and not a hell of a lot of people have handguns, so they're not actually interested in it. But
yeah, Fox's 860, saying Merry Christmas to everyone. Probing says something funny. He goes, lol, they even made a slide lever where you press a button and the bolt returns to its firing position. Just bring the semi-autos back for friggin' hell's sake. Yeah, agreed. Like, it's all just a waste of time. And then they start blowing off about, oh, this is not the intention of the NFA, and you're getting around it. It's like, well, not really. You guys put laws in. whilst it might be hard for us to change, it might be also hard for you guys to change too. So at the end of the day, we're just complying with the requirements under the law. But again, they don't like when people actually, people say we're getting around it. It's like, well, no, the laws are there. We're just bringing in a different type of product. If you don't like that, what's not what can you do?
Exactly. And
Meets the criteria.
We've got Ando here. Question. So who is having issues getting primers? I'm still not having a problem anywhere around me getting them, and the stores aren't having problems getting them either. Yeah, well, I was down at Browns Plains having coffee the other day, Browns Plains Firearm. If you're in Brisbane, go see them. They are definitely the best shop around. And they said that they got primers coming out of the ears, and they got no shortage of ammo whatsoever. If you just are any shortage of ammo you may have is the real specialist stuff. If you want exactly this and it's a specialist round, you may have a bit of problem getting it. That's all.
I was going to say, there goes my idea of selling, a pack of 100 primers for $70 or $80 a pop. Well, I'll have to sell a bit cheaper now.
And a little baggie on the corner of the street.
Yeah, to only the licensed people, of course, or through the dealer. 100 primers, $70,
Yeah, standing outside of a gun shop with a trench coat. Hey, want some primers?
I think primers, you're going to sell them through the gun shop, I think, too, technically, don't you? I think, too. I know it's probably New South Wales, same as ammunition. And if you want to sell ammo, technically, well, if can you give it to a friend? I mean, if you sell it, you technically got to give it to your dealer. He's got to sell it to that person.
You can't even, I'm pretty sure up here, you can't actually give away ammo. It must be transferred through a gun shop, which is ridiculous.
Just another stupid. Like, again, they're worried about that. Why the cops are losing all types of guns and that. Go figure, eh? Go figure.
Exactly. Peter, BD83, a new pistol for the ADF is coming, likely to be a Glock. Yep, well, the Glock in this country has pretty much cornered the market. The importers seem to, for some reason, be the only people who get looking, from what I can see, because Glocks are everywhere with the government agencies.
Exactly. Anyway, it's 9 o'clock. Time to wrap it up, man, for our pre-Christmas show.
Yes, so we wish all you guys a fantastic Christmas and a great holidays. If I'm not on next week, I do apologize. I will be away, but I will keep you informed. I may be hunting. I'm not too sure yet. But please have a fantastic week and enjoy your Christmas. Merry Christmas on Saturday for everyone here. Hope you all stay well and safe and really enjoy yourself. And I hope all you guys get out hunting. Jason, you want to say anything before we go?
Yeah, just stay safe around Christmas. Don't do anything stupid. Don't drink and drive and that. And I'm probably gone for a fair amount of time, unfortunately, depending on what happens with the you-know-what. Cases are blowing up. So, might be going another trip down to Victoria, down to Danistan. So, yeah, I might not be back until the end of January, if not very early Feb. So, have a good time, guys. Stay safe. Don't drink too much. Don't drink and drive. Get someone to drive you out there. Have some prawns. Have some, whatever you have on, some pork or some ham, some chicken.
Yeah.
And, drink up, eat up, and put on a few kilos over Christmas.
And definitely eat lots of cooked meat because, as we all know, no one likes a vegetarian. And if you want to see what Jason and me are up to, we both have other channels, links in the description. Go have a look at our other channels. We'd really appreciate it. We both put out new videos in the last week or so. Jason's is called Lush Cuts, and I am Building Stuff Australia. So go have a look at our other channels and subscribe to those. Links are down below, and have a very safe and fun holiday. So we will talk to you maybe next week. So we'll talk to you then. Catch you later.